Hi, host Eric here. Host talking with famous people. I'd like to make a quick video here in response to homie McHomie Xar Gas. I'm not very adept in nihilism, but I support it. I believe life is meaningless and morals do not exist outside the human mind and always subject to change. Look at the Middle Ages. So if life is meaningless, everyone has their own meaning to live, but if all humans die, no one's going to drop a tear or lose something great, because we are nothing but a grain of sand on the beach compared to the whole universe, so life is meaningless. Some may find that depressing, but I find it beautiful in a way. Well, I would suggest that the opposite is true. Life is meaning. Human consciousness, anyway. I'm trying to get this shade right on my face. How about that? I've just been sitting here doing something really dumb. I've been listening to that song and crying because it's super sad. And it makes me feel the weight of things. Things, of course, do have weight in your life as much as anybody's. They have weight to you and they have weight to other people. But forgetting about that for a second, famous person Eric showed me this thing on meta-rationality, which I'd never heard of before. And basically it talks about the need for a bridge between rational and non-rational mechanisms, so that, well, it says there's 5 stages. I don't like stage shit like that, but and it says nihilism, or flounderings associated with the limitations of rationality, are, it's called certain point stage 4.5, according to this one guy. And you don't want to get stuck there. And the reason you don't want to get stuck there is because it's depressing and nihilistic and meaningless and stuff like that. So the question then becomes, is there a way to bridge rationalists into meta-rationality or post-rationality in a way that's rationally palatable? I think there is. I think I know what it is. I think it boils down to this. You got to view the non-rational stuff as behaviors rather than arguments or beliefs or anything like that. And I think ultimately the whole thing resolves out by understanding all the distinctions between the way that language creates meaning. And so what I would suggest to any rationalist who is stuck in nihilism is to be a brave individual and to attempt to engage in the active faith of praying, which is to say, to try to practice the behavior of actively believing in God and of functioning as though one did. Not all the time. I'm saying in the status quo, you can't do that. And you think that to do that requires some some leap of faith. That it requires some abandoning of rationality. But quite to the contrary, just like when you are enjoying the sensation of getting a massage, you're not engaged in rationality. It does not preclude you from returning to rationality. Right? When you're having sexual intercourse, or when you are something else that's really physical, when you're playing a sport of some sort, you're not engaged in rational processes by and large. You're not going to say, well, obviously I made the right move, coach, because of this rational reason. The coach can say, well, obviously you made the wrong move because you got the ball stolen from you. Right? So you're not engaged in irrational behavior there. And yet, and how can we delimit rationality? Well, one way we know we can delimit it is that it's not subject to arguments. You know, if you're having sex with somebody and you say, I made you come, and the other person says, no, you didn't. It doesn't matter how well I argue the point. She's not going to be convinced. Right? That's why it's non-rational. Okay, so, that's funny. Anyway, you already do engage plenty of non-rational stuff. You don't have to be engaging in rationality all the time. You should try engaging in faith, praying to God. You think that involves you somehow changing your beliefs or something. It doesn't necessarily, at all. You're practicing a behavior. Frame it like this. What does God want me to do right now? What does God think my destiny is? And try to actually believe it. Don't try to maintain the distance, okay? That's what you're going to want to do. Well, I'm going to maintain the distance. I want you to try to believe it. If you can do that, then you get to level 5. And no, you won't get stuck there. That's what people think. They're like, oh, I can't pray because then I'll be a Christian or something. No. Anyway, so you should pray. Lacey, be quiet. Dear Lord, please make my dog be quiet. Like that. No, but for reals though, pray. And if you want to know what to pray for clarity about what your destiny is, and what you're supposed to do.